here's the deal. The first thing is that I was at a medical mission conference a couple of weeks ago. I'm not a physician, but Scott and I are looking always at the places we can increase our philanthropy, and we love the work of medical missionaries. So we were there, and there was a woman on stage who was this gorgeous woman from Malawi, from the village of Malawi. She's an obstetrician, right? She's an OBGYN. She lives in Houston right now. Trying to connect with her to see if I can get her on our stage, at least a podcast interview. But she was on stage and she was talking about the imposter syndrome. And I'm thinking, here is a woman who overcame really like poverty that we could not imagine being born in the Western world with access to water and resources and free education. None of that. Not only did she educate herself and figure out how to do that, but then she went on to get graduate education, and now she's a physician and she goes back and does medical missions in Malawi. Here's what this woman was saying. She's in rooms. She's an African American woman. She's in rooms and she feels like an imposter. And I thought, isn't that fascinating? I think this is what I hear again and again when I'm on the phone with a prospect, when I'm talking to you guys often as my girlfriends. This whole idea that someday when I get there, I'm going to get there is redonkulous. Right? First of all, there's nobody in this community or in the world who's actually an imposter. You can't be. You are a divine child of God. You are one of a kind. And as we grow and as we learn, right, through our lives, it used to be, for those of you who've been around for a little while, like I have, that we knew that everybody had one fingerprint, right? My good friend Beth Davis is a hand analysis, right? So this whole idea that you only have one fingerprint, that's one way they could get you, right? That just know that it was just you. Then we learned about things like DNA. And if you remember when they were like crafting and breaking and mapping the genetic code, right? Like you guys remember all that stuff, how it was going to be such an innovation. I remember kind of where I was when I heard that. The whole idea that maybe every person has something very unique in their DNA. The third one for me is every time I walk through the airport and I go up to the clear thing and I'm like looking in the deal, they're looking at my iris. I have one iris that's just me, just like you have one thing that's going. I have two eyes, thank you, Lord. But I'm saying that here's the idea. So when you are saying, I'm not credible enough, I need one more degree, I'm too black, I'm too white, my hair's too red. I dyed my roots last night because I wanted to get on camera today with you guys without white roots, right? And then I was like, oh, it's too dark, right? It's literally that too much stuff is exactly the opposite side of the coin of not enough. Here's what I want to say to you. Stop it. Just stop it. The world needs you. You're not working in a 9 to 5 career under somebody else's paradigm. You have a calling in your life that's called you to actually be living your divine destiny. Anytime you're waiting for that, you're doing my friend Jesse used to call it wait. Who am I to? Right? You're waiting. Who am I to? Every time we do that, there's somebody in the world who really could use our service and use our love, and we're holding ourselves back. It's unkind. Okay. I want to encourage you to understand it's important for you to be generous with your gifts. The world needs them because there's only one of you. So the mindset shift of instead of when I get ready, I will be able to give, I want you to start shifting that to who may I serve today? In my morning prayer is, Lord, show me how would you use me today? How can I be a great instrument of the blessings and the stewardship you've given me? Every day that we get to wake up, we're alive and breathing. That's pretty cool. That beats the alternative from what I understand. Any of you have lost loved ones or lost two loved ones in the last probably 90 days. It's tough. When it's over, it's over. So waiting for when you're ready is not helping you and it's not helping anyone else. So I think this is massively expensive because what it's costing you more than anything is your time and your purpose. So every day I want you to be thinking about what can I do today? And even though it seems like it may not be perfect, it may not be ready. Listen, we just sent out an email to our list, just several thousand people about 40 minutes ago. I was like, oh, well, actually, maybe an hour ago now. I was like, okay, we can do it now. This is what we can do now. I want you to be thinking, what can I do now? What's that baby step? And know that the beautiful part of our work, the beautiful part of legacy work is that we get to give. Every time we give, our identity becomes shifted. We now expand. So think about when you're like stretching and you're like doing something you think you're not really capable of, and then you achieve something new. You now have a new way of being. I'm thinking about this because Jake's in medical school right now, multiple years for studying, plus all the years he did in undergraduate, and then he'll go into residency. I think the reason it takes so long is not that you need to learn and memorize all those things, but I think the identity for you to shift into being a healer and being a physician takes a little time. Your cells need time to catch up. It's really the same thing for each of you in your own destiny. You're here to serve. You have a calling on your life to heal others. You wouldn't be doing this work otherwise. And it shows up in lots of different forms and fashions. So, how can you be out of your own way? Thank you, Jennifer Huff, and actually take the step you can take today because every step you take stretches your capacity. All right. I want you to think about this. Um, Penny B is asking about product based business. I actually have owned multiple product based businesses, Penny, and I'm happy to talk with you about that. But this is about your identity as a leader. And this is a room for women who want to scale their businesses and want to scale their impact and reach more people in the world. If that's something you want to do through a product based business, I say go for it, girlfriend. If that's something you're meant to do through your service, go for that too. Okay. So the piece around stretching and getting rid of the imposter syndrome, I want you to every day wake up with the gratitude that you are made very uniquely different. Listen, growing up as a redheaded stepchild in a community where all my friends were brown or black, and I'm going to the beach and I'm like Casper the ghost, feeling so ugly, so unattractive, using that as just one more excuse to hold myself back. I want to tell you, I today am so grateful that I had that experience because now when I go to Africa, I feel right at home, right? I'm in South America. I'm with my people. It's easy peasy. God has put you where you're meant to be for a reason. Please keep remembering that instead of taking yourself out that somehow you're not enough, right? That's the first thing. I think it's very expensive. It's costing you money because it's costing you time. And those two things are really integrated. And that's really the second mistake that I see happening with women business owners. I love when I meet like you guys have met this, like some young buck that's got it going on and he's got an idea and he's got his business. He's so loud and proud, and he has no problem getting out there and asking people for money, asking people to support him, asking him to, asking for sales. I love that. I love that courage. Here's what happens with women and money. What happens is we decide we can't afford something because we're not willing to invest in ourselves. And instead, we will spend 197 over here or $97 over there or $2,000 over here, nickel and diming ourselves. I promise you, this is costing you so much money. It's costing you a fortune. You don't even realize it because you have to track it. So if you start tracking, you start paying attention to what you're spending on all these little things, dues and subscriptions and the next that you don't really need. I want you to get really clear about that. If you need help with that, have some one-on-one conversation with me. But I'm going to tell you, your money, you actually have cash flow. Sometimes it feels like a trickle, right, Janet? We love that from Lynn Twist's book about money being like water. Sometimes it's flowing, we're in the river, and then other times it's trickling. What we want to remember is there's no lack of cash. Our cash flow is directly related to the number of people that we are serving. So when you have a prospect that comes in and says, I can't afford that, or I'm not ready, then I want you to ask yourself, Janet, how are you with your own flow? How much gratitude do you have for all the flow that has come through for you? And when we get into this place of who am I to do this or comparing ourselves to other people, please remember to compare backwards. It's one of the most powerful tools you can ever have. Shannon, you brought it up in the call when we were doing shares. It's absolutely vital that you recognize the places where God was with you. You are not alone. You are divinely guided, you are divinely supported, and you are divinely protected. If it's not your time to go, it's your time to be here. How can you be here full out? What that means is tap into your resourcefulness. Think about resourced. Think about how we call God source. right? You are resourced. If you don't feel like you can afford something, pray to be shown how it can be manifested. Pray to be shown how you may serve more so that you tap into more abundance and have more of it come through for you to follow your desires. I believe that God does not put something in our heart or in our vision if it's not possible. I don't think that happens. It's just my own personal belief system. Don't shoot the messenger. Decide how it works for your world. Every time I've been given a vision or a desire or something that I see out there, I know I have my timing and I know that God has God's timing. And my timing is usually off because I'm a mere mortal doing the best I can, just like you. But when I walk in faith and I take the next step and I pray to be shown and I breathe and I pause and I pray to be shown. And then the next thing shows up. But here's the difference for you and me right now in this conversation when you're struggling financially. If you don't pause and you don't do the practices to take care of yourself, you don't do the practices to rest your body and the practices to keep yourself grounded and centered, the world is moving way too fast and you get distracted by everybody else's baloney. All right. When I see someone who's been hugely successful in life, what I can tell you is that they're often a little boring. Their mission is so strong, it pulls them forward. And that's what we get attracted to, right? We get attracted to the charisma, to the belief. I remember Jesse Corin, I was at an event with Jesse and Shirley years ago, and him saying to this audience, it was so precious of women that wanted to grow. And many of them were like massage therapists, and they really were, they knew what they knew, but they didn't know anything about business necessarily at that time, or not much. He said, borrow my courage. And it was so, made me cry. They're like, borrow my courage. Each of you as leaders have something that you've come through that's put you in this place to be on the other side, to look back and say, hey, it doesn't have to be so hard. When you're not taking care of yourself, when you're not grounded, when you're running in the, I can't afford it, I'm not enough, you're really doing the planet a disservice, but you're doing this body that you have a disservice. Here's what we know. We know we're on the clock for when it's over. Every day we're alive, we're a little bit closer to the end. I'm almost 60 years old. If I get to live to be 100 or 40, less than I've already lived, right? If I get there. But I'll get wherever I'm meant to be, just like you will. So how is each day precious? Please do not let money be in the way of you having what you want. I say this to those of you that have been hanging out with me for a while. You hear me say it a lot. We are really committed that money is not going to be the reason you're not successful. Your lack of action will have you not be successful. Your mindset will get in the way and have you not be successful. Who you hang around will have you not be successful. Those are the things that are going to for sure take you down, but it's not going to be money. Guarantee you, because I'm here for you. Right? How much does this class cost today? Okay. What's it worth? It's only worth what you decide to do with it. If you just take this as one more motivation and inspiration and you don't take action, guess what it'll be worth? Price you paid. Okay. So meet me in the work. I can tell you what's coming up right now. And I'm going to get you to my third most expensive mistake here in a second, because it really does tie together. What's happening right now is that we have a community of, even when I was quiet, even when we didn't bring new people in, we still kept percolating, right? And we've got between our LinkedIn and what's happening on Twitter, what's happening on Facebook, what's happening with our email list, thousands of women. It's a beautiful, beautiful gift, and it's worthy. These women all have either the ability to mentor or to a desire to be mentored. And you are those women. I am those women. When giving can't happen without receiving, receiving can't happen without giving. So what we're looking at right now and what's happening for those of you that are coming to the April event is the opportunity for the first time where we'll be having the next generation of leaders coming in. Most of us on this call are the current generation. A few of you are a little younger, right? The current generation of leaders who have achieved a certain level of success emotionally, spiritually, and personal development. There's a whole legion of younger women coming right now that are a bit like you and I were when we were that age. How many people on this call, when you were in your 20s, people said, like, how, who, where's your father? Where's your husband? Whose business is this? And anybody ever hear this when you were in your 20s or 30s? People were like, okay, well, it's not possible that you're actually doing those things. Anybody besides me hear that? Raise your hand if you did. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So there, those women are now coming and saying, hey, I need mentorship. I need help. I want to grow. Those women will grow into the next generation when they hit their 50s and their 60s and their 70s of legacy leaders, of the women who are committed to legacy and giving back because they have a calling on their lives. That's why they're outside the norm. They're already outside the norm doing the things that other people say can't be done. Now, for some of you, like, and some of me, that's a badge of honor. As soon as somebody says something can't be done, I'm like, it's like a magnet to me. I'm like, oh, how can we do it? Right? I'm so excited. Right? That's why we're limitless. We really know with God, all things are possible. So I want you to understand what's happening in the power of mentorship. Some of you are looking for places to give what you already have. You want to give from your abundance. Some of you are still seeking to be mentored, but the only way it's going to happen is if you raise your hand and you show up. And here's what happens. Thousands of people were reached with this message. I know, because I know how many people opened up the email, right? Thousands of people. And then there's probably like 9 of us here. That's what happens, my loves. When you lead leaders, it's a small sliver of us, but that doesn't mean that there aren't massive numbers of followers that really need what you have, right? So I'm all down, Stephanie Loris, for you having a good program. I feel like there's everything that you can do in giving and your marketing and growing that's so important. But remember these 3 things that keep taking you out of the game. You've got to remember you are one of a kind. Please let go of any idea that the word imposter relates to you because it does not. You are here to do what you're here to do and have it be such a blessing on your life that it pulls you forward and you can't not do it. Remember that. The best way I know to remember great mindset, Janet, you and I have talked about this many times, is the power of gratitude. And I don't mean like just our morning practice. I mean the granular gratitude that happens each and every day with the opportunities that show up. It may be that, you found a parking place. It may be that you walked into the kitchen and like your favorite thing you forgot you had bought is still in the fridge, right? You're nourished. It's every day in every way. How are you being supported? And I encourage you to strengthen that divine dance. The young woman who was here this morning doing my makeup, she'll be at the event. She's really an incredible young leader. She said, my business is growing, it's exploding, and I need help. And I'm like, oh, I was like, okay, well, I'm listening, how can I help, etc. And you'll start to see that in your own life. The same conversations will start to show up. I believe that God speaks to us in these synchronicities. And I wrote, Stop the Spinning. It was published in 2012. It's not a new concept 12 years ago. But I'll tell you this thing, how good are we at listening? How good are we at appreciating? I heard Lynn Twist say this. I'm going to give her credit. That which we appreciate appreciates. Where are we doing that on a daily basis? I want you to be thinking about that every minute of every day. What can you be grateful for? When you live in that space, my love, you don't have time to think about whether you're good enough, right? You just start to resonate in the humility of what's possible. The money is not the issue. Stop it. Stop giving your power away. Money is not the issue. It is expensive for you to use money as an excuse. You are resourceful. Get your business model clean. Get your messaging tight. Get your marketing plans in action and get support. Right? And if you don't really know how to do it, rather than nickel and diming and trying to be too cool for school, get into a program that supports you because I can tell you that accountability works, structure works. I was in a program that I took that I signed up and paid to be in, and they gave us a timeline and it cut off Facebook, the Facebook group was blowing up with everybody was like, wait, I didn't have time and my dog died, and my father got sick and da, da, da. Everybody has life. Life is lifing. You'll get what you're committed to. I encourage you to commit to the blessing of your calling. There's a lot there, all right? And if you need help, ask for help. We offer free programs here. We've got a great program. And there's, I think, we're over 1,000 women in our community that just in the Facebook group. If you've got a program, if you've got a question, ask to share that. We have a little filter on there so people can't, random humans can't just post things because sometimes we'll get a woman, it doesn't happen often, but occasionally we'll get somebody in the group and all she does is post and post and post other stuff. It becomes a little bit too much about that one human instead of the collective. So, you'll be asked, to be approved. All of you that are legacy leaders, you get approved automatically. If you've been through business school, we know you. We want to support you. That's literally what we're here to do. Okay. But tell us about what you have coming up and ask for help. If you're trying to test out a new marketing language, do a little poll, ask for help. I'm here for you. I'm offering this year, so it'll tell you I'm offering this year something a little different than I've done in the past. VIP strategic planning retreats with me are still available. I can do a couple of them every month here in Texas if you want to come to be with me. All right. If you want to move into a program with us, my plan is for this year, for 2024, to offer quarterly small group ones like the one I'm doing right now in Scottsdale. I used to do these and I stopped doing. We charge $5,000 to spend the day together. And I put together a group of like 5 or 6 women. And what happens in that space when you actually disconnect from day-to-day operations and really reconnect to your purpose and why you're here is a game changer for your life and your business. You haven't done it before, you might want to give it a try. Mhm. We will be launching business school. Here's the deal. You guys have been through business school. You have lifetime access to business school. You can audit business school and come through the classes. I would encourage you not to do that. I think this year we're probably going to charge like a $500 reinitiation fee to set you up with all the curriculum because I'm creating new curriculum this year. Every year we come out, we have a new version. There's more. Right? So if you haven't done business school for a while, you might want to come. The reason why I'm going to charge you $500 to show up is I've got to pay Leanne, I've got to pay Angela, we got to pay the setup fees. And when people get it for free, sometimes what I noticed in the fall when we did that, they didn't come to the classes. Now, hopefully they got what they needed, right? But here's the deal. This is our relationship with money. When we invest in ourselves, we put some skin in the game, we show up. It's just the way it is. Use money as a resource to work for you. When you have a vision, pray to be shown. I'm going to tell you a quick story and then I'm going to bounce off here in a little bit. But I'll tell you this piece like back in the day when I was a single mom and I moved into a house in Sedona, Arizona, and I didn't know how I was going to pay for all this kind of remodeling stuff I was doing. I went to work and I was like, okay, all I need, and I was selling, I was a salesperson, I was doing real estate at the time. I said, all I need to do is make $11,000 to pay for my windows. People in my office were like, what? So strange. I was like, I knew exactly what needed to happen. We had a house without windows. I knew exactly how much money needed to be coming in. And then I said, okay, show me. Let me show up and do what I can do, which is serve, 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 serve. The money flies in. Right? Get clear about your numbers. If you need some help with this, come to the flow retreat. If I can help you, get on my calendar, schedule my call today. Right? Let me know what you need and where you're stuck with this because I can tell you often it's a simple thing that you can't see. And it's like Tracy Trottenberg saying you can't see your own eyebrows. I can see mine because I'm on camera right now. But if you look up, you really can't see your own eyebrows. So, how can you allow yourself to be supported? You need mentors who have gone before you to make the journey easier because time is precious. When you spend time nickel and diming and not allowing yourself to be supported, you actually slow down your impact. And if you're like me and you're really here to leave and lead a legacy business that is here to change the world, you need to be in a hurry. Okay. Now is the time. We're up to 8 billion people and people need your help more than they ever have. Right? Did anybody find this helpful today? Good, good, good. I've got to bounce. I love you all. It's been my pleasure to be with you. Remember that these are the 3 things I want you to stop doing. I want you to stop letting your mindset get in the way. I want you to stop using money as an excuse. Ask yourself, how can I figure this out? What have I done in the past? Compare backwards, not forwards. There's been a time when you didn't think you could afford something, and all of a sudden you figured it out. Okay. And God came through and you were there. The third one is get yourself some mentorship. It doesn't have to be with me, but make sure whoever I have videos on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, if you want to look at them around mentorship. But I'll tell you, make sure that you vet and partner with someone who is somebody you can trust and someone that has proof of concept and they've done what you want to do. Right? Don't hire someone for something and then make them wrong because you didn't do your homework.
Are you a limitless woman? This is your personal invitation to learn how you can join our online community, grow through our business school, and play with us at our live events. Go to limitlesswomen.com for all the details. That's limitlesswomen.com. Thanks for joining us.